Hello, dear friends. We are in the last session of the series of lessons in extended essay. We are in part 9, conclusion. Conclusion is the last part of your essay, and here you are supposed to tell the reader if you have already answered your research question or not. You should tell them in which level of agreement are you in considering your thesis statement, the lessons you have learned during your research, and also the limitations of your research. So, your conclusion will include 4 different parts. First is restating your thesis statement. Number 2, concluding idea. Number 3, unsolved questions, which is about the limitations. And the last will be the lessons you have learned. So let's consider them one by one in this video. You remember that you started your research by a research question, and then you had your thesis statement. In short, you answered your research question in a few sentences, and you were supposed to advocate it. Now, please remind the reader that what was your thesis statement. In other words, use similar expressions as your thesis statement to re explain it. You should tell them that still you are on the track and you are still considering your research question and you know that what was your thesis statement. Something like this. Suppose that your thesis statement was mortgage is an important factor for controlling the population in cities. The more mortgage, the more residential population, but it has a limit. Majority of people are seriously dependent to loans, but job vacancies put a limit for population growth. Now you can use similar words to remind it again in conclusion, like residential population is majorly dependent on housing provided by mortgage. Increase in mortgage can have reasonable effect on urban citizenship. The growth is controlled by lack of career. As you see, it's not the same but carries the same meaning. Another example could be plant extinction must be stopped. Plants are important on the planet's survival as they balance oxygen level, provide food and clothing, and help maintain human health. This was your thesis statement. Now you should re explain it like this: plant extermination should seriously be stemmed. Plants guarantee our existence by keeping equilibrium of oxygen, supply food and attire, and assist our physical well-being. You see, it is also carrying the same meaning but in different words. This is the first part of your conclusion. Let's go to the second part. After you re-explain your thesis statement, now is the time to have concluding idea. In sufficient words, not redundancy, tell the reader if, not why, your research question was answered or no. In what level of agreement could you prove your thesis statement? You see, still we are on the track. We don't forget our research question and thesis statement. Let's consider a case. As an example, it's a research question in physics. How does temperature of a copper wire affect its electrical resistance in DC? The thesis statement. Temperature is an effective factor for electrical resistance of copper wire in DC. The higher the temperature of the wire, the more electrical resistance tending to a limit as free electrons in higher temperature are disturbed and cannot have effective participation in conduction. Okay, let's have our concluding idea. According to the graph 1.1 to 1.4 and regarding the solid state background illustrated in part 2.2, the ohmic resistance of a copper wire will increase as temperature increases. The increase has linear behavior in temperatures between 0 to 200 degrees Celsius, but nonlinear from 200 to 1085 degrees Celsius. As the copper gets closer to its melting point, electrical resistance goes to a limit. Are you ready to go to the next step? Let's go. Most probably during your investigation, you have got some unsolved questions. So please, related to your essay, present some more questions that your research has not answered. It is very important that those questions must be totally, completely related to your essay. Do not present irrelevant questions. For instance, suppose that the thesis statement is plant extinction must be stopped. Plants are important on the planet's survival as they balance oxygen level, provide food and clothing, and help maintain human health. Okay? Let's consider some unsolved questions. Number 1. Capacity of the whole planet for the plants has not been considered in this research. Therefore, the necessity of protecting all plants goes beyond the scope of this essay. You see, you have not considered it. It's related, but you have not considered it. Number 2. There are some plants harmful for humankind. According to this essay, there is no comment for extinction of those types of plants. At last, something you have learned. Regarding the essay, tell the reader what you learned. Do not include irrelevant lessons. Pay attention, it's a critical point. Most probably the people who are checking your essay are the teachers. They know everything about that. So please do not try to teach them something. It's not a textbook you are writing, it's just a research. So tell them what you learned. For instance, a lesson could be number 1, mortgage might overload the cities with empty properties. More field researchers are needed to keep economic balance for preventing budget deficits similar to 2012 in United States. Or number 2, the interest rate is also a dominant factor affecting the mortgage demand. Neglecting that will cause major misprediction of population growth. Again, I'm very thankful to you because of being with me, watching this video, and supporting this channel. I hope the series of lessons I presented for extended essay have been useful for you and you apply those lessons to write a professional extended essay. Take care and see you.